What's going on, my fellow jewelers? So today it's about the UV resin. That's right. We're doing UV resin on my channel now, and I love it. So I hooked up with Moda, and I did some videos for them, but I loved this UV kit so much that I had to share with you guys. So I did, look at, this is the video I did just recently. So if you want to look at the kit, go ahead, check it out. And so this video is doing a jewelry piece from their kit. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Okay. It shines so much. It's hard not to hit the light. It is an ocean inspired pendant. Oh my gosh. You're making this like they have in the kit. They have the sand, they have this starfish, and then they have everything you need to make this pendant. And so I want to show you, even if you don't have this kit and you have other UV resin stuff, I want to show you how to make a ocean inspired pendant. Now here's the deal. You know, I like being honest with you guys. I love being honest. With that kit, there came some coloring. There came some coloring to color the UV. I didn't particularly like the blue coloring for this ocean piece. It wasn't the blue I wanted. So I want to suggest to you that if you're making this pendant, that you use mica powder. Instead of using the droplets that they have with the kit, to grab some mica powder, I can show you the exact mica powder kit I have online. I love this color. I love these. I feel it's more oceany colors. This, it just kind of turned like a really dark blue, almost black and stuff, but this is like a bright blue. So instead of using their coloring, use the mica powder. And so I'm so excited. Oh, I'm shaking you. Ooh, we're in the ocean. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this pendant today. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel. You click that bell, get notifications, because guess what? I'm all about the how-tos of jewelry making. I do resin jewelry. I do bead jewelry. I got an ear back on both. I know you're excited to make it. I love this pendant so much. So you and me, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started making this ocean pendant into a necklace. Oh, I am so excited. Now, remember, you need to wear your safety gear. If you don't know what your safety gear is, go look at our video for just safety precautions, and you get your mask, you get your clothes you don't mind destroying. You put paper down underneath, or you put newspaper down underneath so you don't destroy whatever table you're using, and then gloves. But I am going to wait to put on gloves until after I put the tape under the bezel. Okay, so you're gonna get your special tape, your special resin tape. You're going to cut it. Make sure you cut some extra so you can fold over, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So I am getting, oh, it's already folding over. Just kidding. So I'm getting my tape, right? And try not to touch where you're gonna put the bezel. And then you're putting it down. And before I even press it on really well, I'm gonna fold this part over. And the reason I do this is that when you're putting your resin in and you're doing stuff with it, your fingers are gonna wanna stick to the tape. And at times, if you don't have the spot to have where you can put your finger, you're gonna put your finger on and it's gonna come up. And if you have wet resin on it, it's gonna just seep all out, and it's a mess and it's horrible. And you get, I've screamed a couple times that I didn't have folding that. Okay, so now that we folded that, we're going to put our finger around the bezel like so. So ring it around, because you want the bezel and the tape to be completely connected to each other, to adhere to each other, because this is liquid. The UV resin is liquid and it wants to seep out. And so you need to make sure that you have all of your bezel stuck to your tape. The next thing I want to do is, before I get my gloves on, I want to get some of the sand. Look at how cute the shells are. They have shells with this. I mean, I just think that's fabulous. I'm not gonna put the shells in yet. I'm gonna get my spoon, I'm gonna get my sand, and then I'm just gonna scoop out the sand. I don't want the shells yet. They want to pop out at me, but I'm not gonna get them yet. I'm gonna do about 3 scoops, maybe a little. Another one. You don't need a lot. When you're doing resin, you don't need a lot unless you're making a lot, right? And so I'm gonna put my seashell back. I'm gonna use one of the shells a little bit later, but I'm gonna close that up. I've made a little bit of mess, because that's what you do when you're doing resin. You make a little bit of mess. Now I'm putting my gloves on because I'm gonna be touching the resin. You could get your gloves on. You could get even the little finger gloves that they have for you. I don't love gloves, but I love protecting my skin because you can react. It's a chemical, you know, you need to be safe. So now I'm going to add my resin. I'm gonna add my resin. Again, you don't need a lot, right? And you can always add more. I love the fact that you don't need a lot of resin. Now, I'm going to not use my scooper because I kind of want to use that for other times, but I'm going to use my stick. You can use whatever you want, but I'm going to use my stick, and I'm going to make sure I mix in all of this beautiful sand with this resin because I want to make sure that every piece of sand has resin on it. Yeah. That's looking good. The next thing I want to do is I want to make the ocean, right? I want to add color. I want to add blue. I want to add the water. So I'm going to do a bit of resin, a little bit more, okay? And I'm going to add in the blue. Gonna add in the blue. And I can always add more, but I'm going to try 1 drop first and mix it in and see if I like that color or if I need to add more. But 1 drop will go a long ways. Oh, that's a pretty color. So now I want to add in my sand, and I'm going to add at the bottom. It's good using this stick, can I say, instead of just pouring it in, because you can control your stick a lot better than you can control pouring it in. And when I first started resin, I just poured everything in and I made a big mess. And I found that I really like using my stick in order to control how much resin I'm putting in. And you don't want to fill it. Can I say you don't want to fill it? Because you're going to want to put a layer of clear on top. And so I did that. I could dry it now, right? I could use my light, but I am going to actually put in the blue. And I'm going to make a line first at the border, so I stop it. I like putting a line, and then I'm going to keep going around. So do you see I put a line of resin right next to the sand before I even filled in any other parts? Oh, that's a pretty color. I'm glad I didn't add any more of the blue in. Okay, and so now I'm going to use fire. And I'm popping all these bubbles. Bubbles, go away. Bubbles are your enemy when it comes to resin. And the bubbles absolutely love to hang out along the edge. And so I'm trying to scoop out the bubbles around it and then bring it to the top, and I'll use more fire. And then we're going to put, I'm going to put 60 seconds of light on here. Okay. Oh my gosh, it got really dark. Do you see that? It got really dark. That's crazy. That's crazy how dark it got. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, before I add a layer of clear resin on it, I'm going to flip it around. Oh, see how it stuck to me? I'm going to flip it around, and I want to get the back. I want to shine light on the back, because it's going to be sticky if I don't. So I'm going to do another 60 seconds on the back. You can do that later in the process, like the last thing you do, but I just like to do it just to get over with so I remember. And make sure that should be good. Now we're going to flip it over. Okay, oh my gosh, it looks like the ocean. Isn't it so pretty? Love it. So now I'm going to put my gloves real quick aside just to open this. And I'm gonna pick one of these guys. Oh my gosh, just don't break it. They're so delicate. I'm gonna try to pick one that is not broken. Okay, and I would have clear resin, and I would put it in clear resin. I don't have a cup, just clear resin, so I'm gonna put it in the sand, and gently, I'm gonna get my gloves on now. So now it's a little hardened, and that's okay, because I am going to take my resin and cover up. It's good with your embeds, and it's good with your other stuff to take it and just cover it in the resin before you put it on, because if there's bubbles, it'll take out the bubbles. It's just good if you're doing flowers, if you're doing whatever, your embed, just to get it covered in resin before you put it on. And I'm gonna, try not to break this. And I'm going to, it doesn't want to come off. I'm going to put it right there. Oh, and before I add my next layer, I want to harden it, because if I don't want bubbles. Bubbles are your enemy, and so when you're doing putting in embeds and all that stuff, cover it and then just quickly put some light on it to harden it quickly, because then you won't have the bubbles that you normally have. And then we'll put on the next layer. Flash. Now we're going to put on our last layer of resin. Now you don't have to add the sea star. You can just have your sand and just prettying it, like the sea and stuff. But I wanted to add the sea star. and you're kind of doming it, you know, so don't go over, right? And then making sure you add your fire to take away any of the bubbles, and you can use your toothpick or your stick to move the bubbles. This is like it. This is the grand finale, and so you want to make sure that it looks good, that there's no bubbles around. That's looking nice, and then you end it with your light. Let's take our light off. Oh, look at it. Isn't it pretty? So now, oh my gosh, it is so pretty. I love it. So now you're gonna wanna take it off. It's a little hot. You could wait till after it gets hot. And you're going to wanna peel it back, just like that. You can throw away your tape. You don't need your tape anymore. And you're gonna kind of feel if any, I see a little sticky part, you kind of wanna rub it. If too much of the stickiness is on there, you can use rubbing alcohol or like nail polish remover. I got stuff on me, that's funny. So now I can kind of feel the sand. So the last step is I wanna do some UV resin on the back just to cover up this part. Okay, so we have done it. We have made a pendant. Congratulations, you did amazing. You've made a sea pendant. I love this pendant. I love that you can put sand, you can put real sand in here. Come on now. And I love the real starfish. I love this guy. Like, I love this pendant so much. And I get a lot of traction on my social media. Yes, I have social media. I do. I have Des Butler Jewelry on Facebook, on Instagram, and I even got it on TikTok now. That's right. And I get a lot of traction with this ocean inspired pendant. Isn't it so easy? Tell me what you thought. Comment, share, like. I want to hear from you. Are you using mica powder? Are you using the gel that came with this kit? What are you gel? I don't know what it's called. You know, like the coloring agent. What coloring are you using? Comment below that you're using for this pendant. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. But before I leave, I don't know if you know this, but I love praying for my viewers. I want to pray for you. And in my last video, I just did a double strand bracelet. In my last video, I offered to pray with you about receiving Jesus in your heart, to receive Jesus as your Lord and Savior. And some of you did, and it was amazing. But now it's like, but now what? What do I do? And I just want to lead you through a prayer. I want to pray that God would send the right people, the right Christians to you to encourage you in your faith, to get to the right church. There are some weird churches, y'all. If you all walk into a weird church and they're doing weird things, just walk out. God has the right church for you. There's so many churches, right? But some are doing it kind of weird. I'm just going to say, and some are doing it amazing and pour into you and stuff. So I'm going to pray for the right people to walk in your life, for the right church, and that you would dive into the Bible, that God would open up the meaning of the Bible to you, that he would reveal and show you amazing things that are in the Bible, because the Bible is amazing. Anyway, so I'm going to pray for you. So God, for those that gave their heart to Jesus, but they're like, now what? What do I do? Lord, I pray, God, that you would send the right people into their lives. God, that you would send Christians that will pour into them, that will love them. God, that will just mentor them, that will be there for them. God, I pray for the right church. God, may they not walk into a crazy church, God, but may they walk into a church that is filled with you, that will love on them, that will pour into them. And God, when they open their word, God, I pray that you would make it clear. God, speak to them clearly. God, thank you that you speak through your word. Thank you that you speak to our hearts as well, that the Bible is amazing. We need to read it, but also you speak to our hearts. So God, speak to them. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. How fun was this? I loved it. Guess what? I'm going to catch you in the next video. Bye.